You are listening to the Audio Missile Podcast.
Okay, and we're back.
What's up? What's up?
Okay, back in the old days in Mexico, they used to make these movies about these wrestlers, right?
Mascaros?
Yeah, and they would wear their masks all the time, right? They're driving around with their masks. They're wearing suits with their masks. I mean, they had no problem wearing a mask. So what's the problem with America? Why can't you wear a damn mask?
Right. I get you, my boy.
If a wrestler can wear his mask this whole time and fight and wrestle and still get a guy in the guillotine or in a lock, you know, he should be fine just walking around with one, right?
It's getting insane out there in the mask wars of America.
Well, I was watching the internet this like a day ago or two, and I saw this lady that was just refusing to put on a mask at a high school game.
Yep.
Okay, and what happened there, Cordell?
Well, that's Miss Kitts, Alicia Kitts. It's a trippy story. You know, when I saw the video, I was like, whoa, what's going on? So we did a little more research. There's lots of mixed feelings out there. And so we're going to try to present both sides of the story here. We did research on her, and she has a shady past, including meth. You know, going back to 2018, from the Parkersburg Sentinel, the newspaper did an article on her and her family over, you know, drug addiction and stuff. And she already had a history, her and her boyfriend, of arrest and stuff. And she had got pulled over one time with guns in the car.
Oh, wow.
And what was it? What the exact charge was, firearms in a vehicle, possession, improper handling of firearms in the vehicle.
The high school where this happened was Logan High School Stadium, right? And she was there for the opposing team, which is Marietta High School. So she came over there, and she has all these priors. Luckily, she didn't have a gun there because she would have probably shot the security guard, right?
Right. No, so with all that said, I just exposed her past, kind of, you know, how bad of a girl she is. But with all that said, I don't think that she should have been treated like that.
Yeah, you know what? I'm under the understanding that when you're in a situation with a female, if you're in office, I mean, he wasn't an officer, he's a security guard, but you should call a woman.
I would have preferred that.
A woman officer to come, and that's what they do in most situations, right? But
well, here's why, because you have a saying that you taught me, is that she's not a trained professional, he is. And so we could have de-escalated this situation.
Okay, and
she wasn't complying, though.
No, and before people get all crazy, she was not arrested for not wearing a mask.
Sure.
Okay. She was asked to leave several times. After she refused to leave, she was trespassing.
Yeah, it's private property. That's a school.
So she was arrested for trespassing. So if you don't want to wear your mask and they tell you to get out, leave, you should leave.
Well, you know, to be honest, a school can kick you out for a T-shirt. They can kick you out for
It's private property.
Yeah, it's private property.
Yeah.
And especially
once you don't leave, you're trespassing, and then they can arrest you.
And especially it's a kid's game, and we don't want to take chances. And so at that, she should have cooperated. And so that's where I feel that she was starting shit. And I feel like Smitty, the guard, overreacted a little bit, tased her, tackled her.
He got caught up in the moment.
They both got caught up in an ideological LARP. You know, he's the masked police, and she's trying. And as they were taking her away,
here's the problem.
She chatted out to the crowd like, "Hey, back me up." And so we looked at her stuff. She had actually 5 Facebook accounts, and she's into some ideological stuff.
Well, she's a tweaker. When you're tweakers, they forget their passwords, they lose their phones, so they always have like 6, 7 accounts.
But yeah, you're right on that. And so, you know, we don't know if she's tweaking now. She could have cleaned up her act, but she had a past. But that shouldn't relate to her getting tackled.
Well, the accounts stay there forever, no matter if you.
Right, you lose the password.
It was 10 years ago. They're still there. Yeah, I mean, I agree. The security guard, they think they're police officers. They're rent-a-cops, and he acted like a police officer acts, because that's what people are protesting.
Sure.
Because they act very aggressively, and like I say before, I'm acting a fool. Yes, I'm acting a fool, but you know what? I'm not a trained police officer. You are, and if you can, then maybe they need more training. maybe they should go for 6 more months because they're rushing him through the academy. What is it, 6 months long? The academy?
Sure.
And most of that time they're learning how to use their guns. A lawyer goes to law school for 7 years to learn the law. And you expect a police officer to enforce the law in 6 months when half the time is learning how to use his gun.
And just to be fair, people are behind Smitty. That's the name of the security guard, his nickname there. The kids love him at the school. They say he's a good dude. He's helped out many a kid.
Well, if you look at
he's not a bad guy.
If you look at the crowd, everyone was wearing their masks.
And they were separate. If you analyze it, she was socially distanced away from people.
Private property, though.
But on private property.
You should stay home. If you don't want to wear your mask, I don't have a problem. Stay home.
Mascaras.
But in a private business, requires you to wear a mask. That's their business. That's their castle.
Right.
Their rules.
No, exactly. And there's kids in that castle. So at the end of the day, I would prefer she wear a mask or leave. But we don't need a tackle or a taser.
Of course not. And that's just, like I say, lack of training. They should get better training.
No, I think this emotional energy of this COVID stuff is just freaking everyone out. And they want it to be over. And so
well, it's not going to be over because no one wants to listen. No one wants to wear masks. No one wants to distance. There's kids having parties in the hills.
Oh, God.
YouTube influencers are having parties everywhere.
Well, hey, what about Rick DeSantis?
No one wants to take the vaccine if it comes out with it. Florida's opening up.
He didn't just say yesterday that no more masks in his state in Florida?
The numbers aren't going up because they're not testing. I mean, how are you gonna have any cases when no one's testing? So I mean, they're crazy over there. But you know what? Like I said before, we're all the way over here in California, far away from Florida. They should just build a wall around Florida. So what's the point of everybody else sacrificing when they can just leave and come and go? You know what I mean? Wherever they want, whenever they want. That's crazy.
Well, so folks, we have no ill will towards her or the security guard, And we're glad she wasn't hurt. We don't want him to lose his job.
No, at least it was just a taser. At least he didn't pull out a gun and shoot her, which I would have been completely insane, right?
Yeah, and so it's actually exposing the ideological LARP that's going on with all this stuff. So people can, because it wasn't just an average Karen. Like where a woman just goes into a business and freaks out.
No, she wasn't yelling any racist things or anything. She didn't even yell anything racist at the security guard after he tased her or anything.
It wasn't. But she wasn't complying.
She was just about not wearing a mask.
She wasn't complying.
And you know what? It's not her fault. That shit's coming all the way from the president, from governors, from senators. So she sees people from the highest in the government spewing all this nonsense. And so she's led on. You know? What I mean? It's called gaslighting.
Right, yeah. So basically, if you want to gaslight, that's okay. If you want to be caught up in your confirmation bias, that's okay. But just don't go to kids' games,
Yeah, tip. They tell you to leave, just leave before you get tasered and shit.
So folks, be safe out there. Mask or no mask, but be safe. Respect each other's space. I mean, we're all trying to get through this and have some fun in life.
Yeah, I don't want to die from somebody who's not wearing a mask. I'm like, hey, can you put on your mask? And then he shoots me. The COVID-19 didn't kill me, but some crazy guy without a mask did. That's crazier, right?
Right, or just everyone freaking out on each other,
It's all crazy shit. So if you don't want to wear a mask, that's fine. If you go somewhere and they ask you to leave, just leave.
Yeah,
that's
be
it.
peaceful.
What's the problem? Be peaceful about it. Just get the hell out of it.
Or you'll get tased.
Or some shit will go wrong. And Audio Missile Podcast is back.
Podcast.
What's up, Cordell? How you doing?
Life is good. Life is good.
Yeah, still on lockdown. We're still on wave 1 with the COVID-19.
Yeah.
I don't think it's never gonna end. But anyway, you like Cheech and Chong?
Yeah.
They're not famous for smoking pot. They're famous for smoking pot when it was illegal.
Right.
Because millennials today, they take things for granted. And they could just go to any pot store and get the best pot in California and come out of there with a brownie and some vape pen or something, some extracts and shit. So, but back in the days when you and I were young and we wanted to smoke pot, we had to go to MacArthur Park out here in LA or to some alley and shit.
An alley.
To go buy some fucking Mexican herb that was all like, it wasn't even the quality and stuff. But anyway, millennials take a lot of shit for granted, like smartphones. We had the cord. Remember, we had to talk to our girlfriend with the cord in the middle of the living room. Everybody was hearing what you were saying. You know, here in America, we take a lot of things for granted. You know, like here in California, especially, like I was saying, pot. But Mexicans are getting high in a cannabis garden that's sprouting next to Mexico Senate. Did you know that, Cordell?
No.
The seeds were planted by a pro-marijuana activist in February and have now grown into large plants and become a symbol of a drive to legalize marijuana in Mexico.
Yeah, yeah.
Mexico's Supreme Court has ruled that laws prohibiting cannabis use are unconstitutional, has yet to draft legislation that would formally legalize marijuana, leaving smokers exposed to criminal charges if caught smoking. Okay? Now, the garden has become a place for smokers to congregate in peace. People are going, they're allowed, each person's allowed, I think 20 minutes, 30 minutes, every 2 persons, and they could go in there and light up. The police say they've been turning a blind eye for now, but no one knows for how long, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So there's activists there, and they say that the garden is a great place for people to get educated and offer human rights. So you can go and smoke a joint in peace. Because over there in Mexico, I remember if they catch you smoking a joint, they probably kick your ass, the cops. It's not like in America, you know what I mean? The cops kick your ass here too, but over there they kick your ass sooner and for less things, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So the activist says he wants lawmakers to understand that we are not at risk to anyone. So they're smoking right across from the Senate. What do you think about that?
Yeah, well, then, good for them.
Well, let's hope they pass the legislation they need so they can legalize it. And I think that might even help with all the cartel shit too. That's one drug less they could profit off of, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
All right. Thank you guys for listening. If you like what we're doing, please subscribe, hit like, and please tell a friend.
Tell a friend.